My friend's girlfriend proposed to me. My friend and his girlfriend has been dating for about 2 years now. They met through a coaching institute. Me personally, I never had a serious relationship because my parents are really strict. Typical Indian parents, so being proposed by someone was quite shocking to me. It was not like something I had imagined, like how they do in movies, going on one knee and stuff. She basically said that she finds me attractive and will like to go out with me. I asked about my friend, does he know, and she said no, she will break up with him if we go out. So me personally, even though I might be a virgin, I still got my morals. And I'm preparing for NEET entrance exam to get into medical college. So I don't have time anyway. I'm kinda confused if I should tell my friend. Well, he actually loves her. Every time he gets drunk he starts to talk about her, saying stuffs like how he could like to marry her someday. And it's not that simple. Like, if I'm his true friend, I should tell him. There is a second layer to the story. He is preparing for G Advance, to get into engineering college. It's one of the toughest exam out there. And he is currently in a coaching center out from our hometown. His parents are not rich or anything. The exams is in 8 months and a breakup now could really hurt his preparation. And his career altogether. So should I tell him or should I wait? I'm not dating her anyway because brothers over hoe, well, you get it. My brother died today. My brother was an alcoholic. He did not want to get help. I texted him and he texted me most days, but I hadn't heard from him since Sunday. The panic kicked in when he hadn't texted any of his friends either or been on Twitter. For context, I live in Colorado and he lived near London. So yesterday I called his local police station to do a welfare check. Police checking on him. They went today and it turns out he'd fallen and died. We don't know when. This is a shock. Alcohol is terrible. I don't want to remember him as an alcoholic, I want to remember him from before. I don't know what to do with myself right now. My mom is in bits, my dad is heartbroken. They live in the UK. I'm trying to make plans to head out and help. Check on your family and friends and make sure they are okay. BF ghosting me. BC, he got poop on his dick. I already saw a post here similar to my situation, but I want to get this off my chest. Last week me and my BF tried anal, and I didn't feel anything coming until he pointed it out to his dick and was really disgusted. There was little light in the place we were in, thanks God, because I would have been more embarrassed. So I get up and clean myself. He just stood there and looked at me. I laughed it off hoping he would do the same, but he didn't. All this and he still insisted on finishing himself. After what happened he took me home, didn't talk to me the whole time. I waited for a reassuring text from or something, but nothing. He told me that I stained his shirt and that he was embarrassed because his friends might have seen it. He didn't even ask about me or how I was doing. After that I sent him a voice message crying because I felt so ashamed. He chose to respond with 2 words. Then I reply. Until today he didn't reply back. He ghosted me and he still posts on Facebook and posts stories and everything. Should I confront him? Or know that it's over? A man admitted to committing bestiality in the middle of having the deed with me. This just happened last night, and I had to call out of work today because I'm still processing what happened. I, 23F, have been talking to B, 30M, for about a month now. I very specifically held off on having a date with him until we had been talking for a while because I have trust issues. We've had phone calls almost daily, and he lives over 2 hours away. Yesterday, I finally decided to meet up with him. I trusted him enough to come over to my place so we could listen to vinyl and hang out. Admittedly, our conversations recently became very flirty and I enjoyed them, so I had a feeling that we might end up having the deed. Things were going really well at first. In previous conversations over the phone, I was very clear about boundaries and he had assured me that he would be respectful of them. He was using his hand on me and then, without any warning, he tried to fist me full force. It was extremely painful, and I asked him to stop. He did at first and apologized, but he kept trying to do it despite me telling him not to each time. I was starting to get extremely uncomfortable. We had previously discussed breeding kinks in phone conversations as well, so I wasn't surprised when he brought this up during the deed. It went as far as name-calling at one point, which he then asked if he could tell me a dirty secret. I was already on edge from the whole fisting thing, and red flags were going off in my head. I didn't respond, and he kept asking me to promise not to judge him. After multiple failed attempts of getting me to promise not to judge him, he fully admitted to inseminating cattle at a farm he worked at in great detail. He even continued by saying I reminded him of the cows he liked to breed. I freaked out and screamed at him, running to my bathroom and locking the door. I was completely shocked and terrified. When I finally worked up the courage to come out, I wrapped myself in a blanket and cried on the couch. He half-heartedly tried to tell me he was just being dirty, but I knew he was lying. I refused to look at him, and made him drive 2+ hours back home in the middle of the night. I felt disgusting, I sobbed hysterically and worked myself into a panic attack. I spent the night at my best friend's place, and I'm still here. I bled all over the sheets from the fisting, and it hurts to sit. I'd if this counts as assault, but I feel so gross and numb. My mom and her boyfriend kicked me out and I spent months homeless. I just moved into my own place yesterday and after my landlord left, I just broke down and sobbed. I can't even begin to explain how hard not having a place to call home is. It was so scary and humiliating. It was also not easy seeing parents being loving and caring towards their children. I would ask myself why my mom wasn't like that. Fortunately, I had a job, but still the dread of having to look for somewhere safe to sleep after work while people were going home was the worst. The feeling of complete hopelessness was overwhelming. I felt like I would never get out of the situation. But regardless, I pushed myself because the only person who could get me out of that situation was me. I took it one day at a time and always pestered my boss for more hours, and I saved every penny. I ate once a day to be economical because I just wanted to get out as soon as I could. Once in a blue moon I'd spend a night at a cheap motel just to get some rest. The guilt would eat me up because it felt like a waste, but sometimes you just need the break. Just one night of sleeping on a bed in a safe-ish and private space, that I would go back to my normal anxiety-riddled life the next day. I was a wreck, but the fact that I was working towards something kept me going. I couldn't give up, and finally I had saved up enough to get a place. I was happy, but I didn't want to get too excited until it was official. It's hard to explain the feeling. Now that I've moved in, I am relieved. It's bare, but it's my home. It took a lot and sometimes I didn't believe in myself, but I'm glad that I made it to this point.